Come in. Have a seat. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. If I take a seat, I really appreciate it. Name's Ian Drake, and I ran a 5e D&D game.
Welcome, Ian Drake.
Can't fail here. Thanks, my 5th edition game just got done. It was like 55 sessions, and players are great, and I had a really good time. But the last session, I just have these lingering feelings. I don't know. I just don't know how. I don't know how well it went. I don't know. It's bugging me.
We all have doubts. It's okay. Tell us about
it. The PCs are on a Vermiurge sky chariot, ready to fight the big monster at the end. Vermiurge. Does that begin with a V? Like lobster, scorpion, spider type thing?
it. Nice. I see a TPK coming.
No, I didn't kill anyone. Our retainer died. A farmer.
What the hell is that? Do you even D&D, bro? Calm down. Let him continue.
Retainer? We roll initiative, and I started with a natural 1. That was a mistake. Just should have had your big bad go first. Who cares what you roll?
Probably got ridiculous HP, legendary actions, artifacts, kinds of stuff.
It had 500 hit points and some special actions and some extra stuff I added.
Should have made it immune to all damage.
Why?
Out you gotta kill them all. It's us versus them. The look on their smug faces when they reach their death saves. Here comes another attack. It's automatic to fail. And here comes more. You want to write a 10-page backstory? Got something for that.
Enough. You are in timeout. Continue. What's the party's composition? Well, we have an abjuration wizard named Brachius Maximus, and he has the spirit of another PC earlier in the game who had actually died twice. Cobalt artificer named Scuttlebutt, who's got a radioactive gem in his chest, and he has like a gauntlet, kind of like Thanos in Avengers Endgame. I like it. How ironic. A human life cleric, Serene, and she's got the soul of a previous NPC from another campaign in a ring who she could talk to. Oh. Well, and whose body is in the 3rd layer of hell. We have a kinku named Fishay, who thinks he's a seagull, and he's a warlock. He's got like a frog on his shoulder. He's also riding a flaming llama. I like the RP opportunities here. Well, he also carries 2 severed heads, and he pretty much eats everything he can, to include party members. Are you playing a Donner Party game? No. There's a dwarf warlock named Durbin who's like 380 years old, but he has a tendency to forget everything. Why? He's got some kind of memory loss, and that's kind of a running joke in the game that he can't remember the people he met. This is not theater. This is one cheap trick.
Yeah!
At the expense of those who have a serious disability. It is not funny.
Okay, so continue.
13, who's a rabbit offspring of the Primal One, he's like super intelligent, and he has a vast understanding of the multiverse. And there's only one of him, and there's many duplicates of the party. You're going from ironic to cliche, and that ain't cool.
So continue.
Thanks. Well, of course the PC's gotten this big fight, with this Vermiurge creature. And I wasn't anticipating Counterspell to be used against him, and it was, and I should have known better.
As a reaction, it counterspells that, and it fails.
As a reaction, I counterspell its counterspell.
Okay.
Well, in fact, it was used twice.
Bitch, are you for real?
Got 1 action point. I'm going to cast Harm again on it.
Okay.
So that's
Counterspell.
counterspell. Nothing I can do about that.
I use my reaction to counterspell as counterspell.
All right. The real damage was being done by the gamma radiation that actually one of the party members had.
You notice your skin, anything that's exposed, begins to burn.
13, my swimmer's a boy then. Can you help me?
And they were losing max HP, and that happened every round. But the creature then had the irresistible dance spell put on it, and I rolled a 1, of course, and couldn't break it.
It will make an attempt to break this dance. It fails spectacularly.
And he continued to dance. Durbin ended up getting the critical crushing blow at the end and killing it.
So Durbin's going to peek back around the corner, hold his staff aloft, and he's going to cast Eldritch Blast at the Vermiurge. Second one, natural 20. And third one does not hit as well. So 17 force damage. And then percentile is 79.
Okay. Give me another D8 roll.
7.
Describe to me how it does.
Oh. So you're going to see first, the Eldritch Blast is going to go right for, it's got like little mandibles.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, the Eldritch Blast is going to go right for the mandibles and then exit through the top of the skull. It's going to go in and make a 90-degree turn and go up and just blow out the brain case.
Yeah. Parts of it go everywhere. It unleashes a psychic scream, so everybody...
There was a couple minions, Vermiurge minions who they killed, and they looked like Brachius and Serene. They were trying to get to the escape craft to leave the Vermiurge ship. And then there was a troll who they fought earlier who had superpowers, and the Vermiurge had taken them, and then was trying to make super soldiers, super Vermiurge, and they wasted him too. But Brachius had the gamma radiation and was not going to get in the shuttlecraft, but they used Greater Restoration, I think, in an action point, and halted the radiation for enough time for them to escape.
But then I kick Tobias's body off the ramp with like one monkey paw, roll the body down, and say, "Well, then let's get out of here." And I go in and take a seat.
Okay, first 5th level spell slot, I cast Greater Restoration to remove the radiation poisoning. Then I cast Heal to heal him 70 HP and repair all of his internal organs.
I mean, I feel like for that level, like he's got to be down for the count, like a Neo, just like waking up from the Matrix type deal.
Is it beyond the matrix of duality? This shit may sound hella crazy.
13, your Geiger counter is not going off anymore. It stops.
They landed on the surface. They were greeted by some soldiers, airmen, who they quickly recognized the third airman, who as Twinkie Wilson.
Excuse me. Yes, they're fine. Don't worry. Yes, airmen aren't insured. Step away. Sorry for the trouble here. Obviously, this is a weather balloon from the air squadron that has crashed. So just step away. There's probably some sort of materials that don't need to be messed with. Why don't you go to HQ and tell them that one of their weather balloons has crashed and they need to come out here and retrieve it. They both kind of look at each other, and he says, "You know I have date of rank, so I don't want to pull that on you." And they both kind of look at each other. They start running.
He's a specialist.
I do like a man in uniform.
Who promptly had data rank and got them off the base. They went back to his domicile.
And as you're driving, there's an enormous boom. It like you can feel the whole truck like shake. And then pieces and rocks and shit start hitting the car like hail, like bang, bang, bang. And then every once in a while, you see like a leg or an arm red, like hit the windshield. He turns on the windshield wiper and flings it to the side. It's like body parts
They
start.
will look up. There it went.
Fisher, open a window quick.
Fichet's probably outside with his mouth open.
He told him he would send Brachius back to his world, which was the past, the ape past of this planet. But Brachius didn't want to go back because he was full of the gamma radiation. He would kill everyone. So Durbin was going to give his life force.
Durbin's planning on transferring his entire life force to Brachius to give Brachius, life anew, and Durbin will die. He'll go live in the afterlife with his dead wife.
Wine the pocket watch, which was a magic thingamajig, which Dr. Days had put in his pocket at one point, and it has a bunch of magic, and when it's released, it causes players to suffer some sort of madness, and it could kill them or make them a god.
There's a huge flash of light, every color of the spectrum just kind of floods this whole area. Everybody is kind of like ethereal. It's for a moment, and as the lights fade and everyone's just standing there, Serene is on the ground unconscious.
Yay!
Bobby is moving around and he just is not speaking. He's just kind of staring off into space. His cigarette slowly getting less and less to ash. Brachius, you rolled a 54, right?
Yep.
So you are attached to a lucky charm, such as a person or an object. I will let you pick what that is.
My lucky item is the neuralizer, by the way. It saved me from many problems.
Yes. Okay. So you start to cradle the neuralizer.
Since Blanche, once again, I point out the Golden Girls ignored my request to bring him back. The Golden Girls are cunts.
Well, I am stunned. Just stunned. Stunned is the only way to describe how stunned I am.
What? Sacrilegious. Drop it from the call.
Scuttle, you start hallucinating. You have all kinds of strange hallucinations. You can describe what they are.
Well, I imagine it's more of a strange synesthesia. He's starting to see, taste, and he's hearing colors and shapes. So he's just all just like
Fish, you believe you are invisible. Durbin, you open your eyes, you see everybody here, you don't recognize anyone.
Well, I mean, Durbin uses the spell to transfer all of his life force into Brachius if it indeed worked.
It's that at that moment you open your eyes, you look around, nobody looks familiar, you fall to the ground.
Who are you?
This is probably what happened to him before, which is why he doesn't remember everybody who remembers him.
He is reliving his life every few weeks because this happens to him. He's never going to see his wife. This is his own personal hell.
Durbin's body slowly begins to fade and looks like
Avengers Endgame, Thanos dusting into Brachius.
As you look at Serene, she begins to transform.
Well, that's not good for my health.
And slowly she transforms into, it looks like an elf.
No.
A man, and he stands up and he looks down and he's got the ring and he's like, Serene, are you in there? What happened?
I saved him. Yes, I did my mission.
She walks over to you. Blanche is just kind of looking at everything. She says, I believe it worked. I think you're cured.
So I will, I bow my head and begin saying a prayer to the ape ancestors.
Okay.
Hoping that they will guide Durbin to wherever it is that the souls of dwarves go. Probably overseen by apes to keep them safe.
Some other place.
Yeah, he would definitely be back at Longfellow Clan Hall in, the afterlife. And he would have just been finishing up telling her the story of all the events that happened after her death. And he would end with, and that's how it happened back in my day.
Brachius Brachius is sent back to the Ape Empire. He doesn't have gamma radiation anymore.
I would like to thank you all for helping me defeat the Vermiurge. It was a great victory that saved countless lives across many universes. I hope you all have grand and long lives in your own worlds.
Scuttlebutt kind of focusing on his hand, opening and closing this battle fist that's kind of glowing. He says, "Yes, and it was quite lucrative." And then he looks back at his new car.
Bichet was gonna walk up to Brachius and like try and grab hold of him and like grab his hand, and he's like trying to get a banana to come out, but it's not showing up. So he's like, "Damn this!" And he just stomps away. He takes his vest off because he doesn't think he's fully invisible yet. So now he's naked.
I assume he was always
naked.
I've never had pants.
Mostly naked. But I will take a minute I take out my spell book from my backpack and my dagger, and I slice down the spine slightly to cut a few pages out, and I hand them to Fishay. I hope you can figure out how to use this someday. And it is the spell that you cast it once a day. It lasts for 24 hours, and it lets you summon to your hand any piece of food that your species normally eats.
Now, are you telling him this, or are you just handing it to him, hoping he'll realize just eat the pages?
I explained that it is the spell that I use to be able to feed myself.
Well, a bargain is due, and I grab the paper and I give you a handful of wiggly fingers or whatever they are, pickle fingers.
No, you please keep your pickled fingers. I then get in the vehicle.
I wave from the pocket. Goodbye, it was fun.
The Ford Ranger takes off and vanishes at
88 miles an hour.
No, it doesn't. Fable, that is fiction. That is not true. It is science fact, not science fiction.
He realizes that the Vermiurge have been defeated, and from there he begins his legacy, so to speak. The rest of the players take the 78 Ranger, which has the ability to travel through time because of Twinkie Wilson's modifications. They go back to their world. It splashes down in the ocean and sinks, but they escape. They go back to the capital, which they realize is now changed, and their whole future, where they came from, has changed because now the apes were never defeated by the Vermiurge.
And the ones that you have brought back, they are the originals now. You know what that means?
That there are no duplicates?
No, that the ones that were here in the first place are now our duplicates. And you know what to do.
And that's kind of how it is. Yes, outstanding. No, bravo. Yes, very good. Thank you, very good. Bravo, excellent. Yes. Oh, yeah, loved it. Yeah. All that we expected. Excellent. Yes, excellent. Yes, excellent. I dig it. Cool, man. Oh, thanks. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I thought I just kind of droned on there. Well, I mean, I feel a whole lot better. Well, thanks. I guess I'm good. Okay, cool. All right. Appreciate it. Wow. That guy's fucking weird. Is this the cosplay support group? No. Thank you. Also, the previous PM failed to mention a critical player in the final episode, Sable, who was a legendary bounty hunter. Though she was only in 3 episodes, she was, I would say, a linchpin to the campaign. And was vital in the players defeating the Vermiurge and the ultimate destruction of the Sky Chariot when she called in the airstrike. Also, I'd like to mention that she does like Patrick Swayze and Diet Cola, and she is second on the backup list.
Sable, I don't know if you plan on heading back, but I do have rented a few movies, and I don't know if you want to stay. I have Diet Cola. I can send Bobby to the store if need be. We could watch movies and hang out. I can pick up other provisions. I do have privileges at the commissary, and they charge no tax.
No tax.
Any movie with Swayze, and I'm in.
Ooh. Well, Ghost it is.
Ooh.
I think you're number 2 on the backup list.
This program is brought to you by New Tanchow City Public Access with grants from the Fells Institute. Machine, which they got. They got time machines. The apes have got them. They're not telling anybody.
I'm not interested in any second-hand sale. I've seen the resources that you've been able to pull together and manage here. You're not going to fool me.
I do have a picture of Naomi Watts from Tank Girl. It is autographed.
I have no idea what that is.
Tempting.
It's very valuable. She is second on the backup list. Serene is third, followed closely by Sable. I like the cut of your jib. I don't think I have the kind of gold you're looking for. I could provide some sort of technology, maybe. How about, and he points to the vehicle, how about this? I will provide you with the 78 Ranger. It has a plethora of devices and technology.
Like what?
It travels through freaking time.
It has this cassette deck.
Exactly. Because they don't want they don't want to skip multiverses and end up somewhere else they don't want to be. So they're just kind of like keeping it close to the vest. But there's probably a Elven Empire out there, and you'd be loving it. So you just got to get there. You got to figure it out and make that happen. Anyway.
And where is here exactly? You said your domicile, but that doesn't really tell us much.
Tony, we are. This is Groom Lake, and congratulations on your defeat of the Vermiurge and shutting down CAD, and you have successfully skipped to a different multiverse. So kudos to you.
How?
Well, you've obviously changed things when you went up to the ship and shut down the CAD and defeated the Vermiurge. It took me a while to find you, but I managed to.
That happened. Anyway, this next segment is sponsored by Owen's Drider Milk. So, that's what Blanco drinks. Owen's Drider Milk. They only get the best Driders and the best milk. And it's Owen's, right? Because it's got the chunks. Okay. It's quality stuff. I'm getting to the chunks, trust me. Don't accept any imitation. Owen's Drider Milk. See, I'm getting to the chunks. There they are, right there. You can see them. The chunks. That's the good stuff. It's excellent. There's quality Drider Milk. Kind you can chew. Okay, so all right. So anyway, this is 2-year anniversary, and here as you know, I'm in the NTC now, New Tangier City. I used to be over in the capital, however they say it, Limburgitis, some weird name. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But I left the Elven. No, I wasn't. Thinking it would have been nice. It was Elven Empire, but it's Ape. And left the Ape Empire and the capital. I'm here at NTC and loving it. It's great. And people ask, what's the big thing about being in the NTC? What's the difference? Well, obviously, the smell, because apes stink. And with that smell, the reason, not only do they smell bad, they have this really bad habit of they'll just go wherever they want to, right? They'll just drop a deuce as they're walking, like in the middle of town, like whatever. They don't care. Now, I know they're supposed to have, presentation, and there's supposed to be people come by and clean it up, but it ain't. Sometimes they're slack. Sometimes they just don't. And they just don't care. They've been drinking that banana milk and banana milk liqueur, whatever it is.
Well, of course, who doesn't drink the banana liqueur if it's available?
And that stuff, I'll tell you, it may smell good one end, but coming out the other end, reeks. And it's just nasty. And, they're always looking over my back, looking over my shoulder, just like, wanting to check what I was doing and, what I was saying. And I ain't going down with that. He's not down for people just, tell me what to do and what to say. So anyway, so I got a chance here at NTC to see the final production, the Seven Breakers. Those Koatoa, Elven, Eladrin kids finally put out the last act of this play that just seemed to go on forever. I saw the first episodes, get the doily and stuff. A couple things I noticed with the production. Obviously, Breaker dies. Spoilers, right? Well, spoilers, Breaker dies. If you haven't seen the whole thing, he does. He dies twice, in fact. And mysteriously, right, he's replaced by an ape. Brachius Maximus, who becomes like the superhero of the whole thing, which is kind of real suspicious. The Breakers, I got a chance to talk to Mitch Connors, who did, Behind the Meatballs. And I don't want to go into that whole story because that was like 200 years ago. We talked about that. And he did the other one, Go Fish. We'll talk about that sometime too. He looked into this, this whole situation. Me and him just were talking. He happened to be around, and we came to the same conclusion that the Breakers were kind of hard on luck and money. They're second-class citizens in the Ape, Ape Empire. You want to keep this production going. Well, there just happens to be an ape in your production. Who happens to be the hero? Final battle is against this kind of lobster, spider, scorpion creature, which is complete below, and it's made up. It's a composite of like a bunch of different villains because there's no such thing like that exists. It's just too weird. So anyway, and another revelation in this whole thing is the they link Molask and Asmodeus, and of course the Ape Empire. But I talked about this like 200 years ago. Just drop that somewhere.
It's that same cabal I'm talking about, and we'll be talking about it over and over. Molask. We're talking about Asmodeus.
Up here, just let people know that I told them about that already. So I'm not shocked. So apparently that was a big shocker, in the theater, but it wasn't. I already knew it. A scorpion, whatever the thing existed, it's probably from some sort of radiation, and that's obvious because this scuttlebutt kobold He's got that gem in his chest and it kind of glows, and he kind of claims he like tastes colors and stuff and has strange hallucinations. So he's been doing some weird experiments.
You wouldn't happen to be able to whip up a body too, would you? And I'd pop out his Mantro's pocket, a talking action figure.
Haven't tried it. Suppose not too hard to add on to the list of research projects that I could use.
It would most certainly make my life a bit easier if I had functioning arms, legs, and the ability to cast spells once again.
Yeah, sure, but what's in it for me?
Oh, I'm sure I can think of something I can offer you.
Okay, well, when you do, you let me know.
It wouldn't surprise me if he basically created the creature, like if it existed. Like if we're gonna give the premise that this thing really existed and it wasn't composite, I think that's really the only theory that works. Mantra the Third, which he vanished 200 years ago, a long time. His family was had some status in the ape world. As you know, elves just are not, they're second class, third class, no class citizens. And his family has some money, and he went missing. And all of a sudden, he shows up. And he explained that he was whisked away to some other world. It's kind of a fantastical story that, I think it's related to the dreamscape. I think he was kind of trapped in there and then managed to get himself out. And then he said basically he had a ring that had this, human woman in it. I don't know what I don't know what was there. She was kind of a drag on him. Serene.
Allow me to explain. And I go ahead and appear inside the Tobias action figure and crawl out of the backpack. To be perfectly honest, the explanation's a bit vague, but Mantro's soul was put inside of the ring I normally wore. However, when whatever this watch did, it changed us somehow and we switched places. So now I am in the ring and he is, well, himself again.
So yeah, do you see Mantro holding the little Tobias action figure? Okay, here you go, and he puts it in his pocket.
Yeah, it's kind of a drag, and he had to support the party. He's basically the cleric, he's the cleric of the group, and he's got to call on all these spirits. He pulls their ass out of so many problems. And I think just the Ape Empire, they don't want to acknowledge the fact what he's done for them. Talk about Durbin, the old dwarf, been in here before. We've talked, and it was good to see him again. He didn't remember any of it. He didn't remember anything that happened.
I got a little bag of sand up there now.
In the production, I asked him if he had seen any of the stuff, and he said no. And I told him he was a big deal. He got the kill shot on this creature, whether it was composite or something that Scuttlebutt's design. I don't know which one. Hopefully, he finds what he's looking for.
Top line translates roughly into Pharaoh gobbles donkey goobers. And the bottom line, Cleopatra does the nasty.
Yeah, 13, in the story, Mechanus is blown up from these creatures who apparently can travel through time and have spaceships and stuff. Whatever. Again, it's theater, and they got to sell tickets.
Being a baked potato would be pretty attractive to Tobias.
Yeah, that's actually like a life goal. I think I see the great potato farm out in the sky.
Is there a prime one? Of course not. I mean, and it's a rabbit, and that's extremely ridiculous.
Well, that's no ordinary rabbit. That's the most foul, cruel, and bad-tempered rodent you ever set eyes on.
I didn't buy that. I didn't buy that portion of the story.
That rabbit's got a vicious streak a mile wide. It's a killer.
That he was like some gunslinging rabbit that was destroying stuff and murderizing. I didn't buy it.
What's he do? Nibble your bum?
And he's out to kill duplicates. Like there are more than one of us running around, and his job is to remove one.
He can leap about. Look at the bones.
So I don't buy any of that. I can't imagine more than one of me rolling around the same universe. That would be a weird paradox. And I think the universe would implode. Then it comes to this Kinku seagull. Now, Kinku's ancient races. I like to think of them as the native races. And they're native to this world, and they just kind of like crap all over them. And they portray him as like some kind of like cannibalistic psychopath.
Are you literally ripping into this thing trying to eat it?
Yeah, I'm trying to like take limbs off and stuff.
Okay, so you like crack a piece and with your vampiric touch and pull out a piece and eat it?
Delicious.
But it's like Fallout. It's all radioactive meat.
So good.
I've been to Fishay's restaurant, and he's opened a chain of restaurants. I think there's one coming to NTC, and I don't see it. I don't see it. And he just kind of speaks in weird phrases and stuff.
No true hunger could be abated.
He's never spoken that way to me. We have pretty insightful conversations all the time. So I don't know the reasoning behind that. Again, I think it's part of that ape empire influence.
Kinku angry because ape talk with two tongue.
They talk about Sable, and they needed somebody to appease like the bugbear community.
Drive these two guys into the ground like nails.
I'll help you, big boy.
Because she's kind of bugbear. Again, that was ancient races. I just don't claim she's like a bounty hunter from other worlds.
On another table appears to be some sort of knight, maybe, but his helmet looks extraordinarily too big.
And again, I don't, that whole space travel and stuff like that, it's just like, there's nothing outside this world. Like, there's multiverses. Like, if you can just jump, you can jump to another multiverse. But anything outside Totec, where we're at, there's nothing. There's nothing out there. It's just empty space. Mitch Connors, he's definitely wanted. He's wanted by the Ape Empire. He did that expose on the legend of Brachius Maximus. Basically, Brachius is considered the father of chronomancy. Basically calling in question Brachius's lineage, and said that Brachius got around. He liked the species. He liked all species. He also had some kind of little flashy thing he kept around with him all the time, and I heard that kind of affected memories, and that sounded like it sounds like trouble. So he's been banned. They've been looking for him. They've been looking for him for years. Yeah, let's take a break right there. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and put me through. 3. Urgent. Yeah, phone tree. Chicken salad. Yeah, it wasn't a bad segment. Yeah, we can get some. 3519. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is Blanco. Oh, yeah, thanks. Listens to the show. Nice. Yeah, great. Anyway, yes, I would like to report unauthorized travel to L593. Mm-hmm. Yes, subject's name. Yes, Mitch Connors. Also goes by the name of I'm here to honor my former master. George, who was brutalized 4 years ago by vicious murderers, minding his own business on a sky chariot when it was attacked. I also hold Cad personally accountable for that day too, for him shutting down, causing us great harm and suffering. I will not dwell on the day he perished and 4 years of torment that I have endured. I remember the good times when my spine and head was plucked from my weak former body, placed it in a new body to become his minion, and the thoughts and ideas and synaptic impulses that I shared with a new community as we ventured to various worlds and gave them the new offering of the life that they so richly deserved. So on this day, I shall honor him. Now, he may have been weak in the end, and his power is not as strong, But he always loved a good dance. And for that, I will dance in your honor.
If only Breaker were here to see it.
It's a tragedy. His mother tried to warn him.
Of
what was about to happen.
Well, I suppose it wouldn't be a story if he listened.
His last words were,
He pulled from his pocket a note from his mom and said, "Mom's not the boss of me," and then whacked the bottle with his saber to knock it open. The note said, if you see a bottle that says "do not open," don't open it.
It's all I wanted to see. Those only two things I ever want to see in my life was my son return, and you are safe. So this is a great day. I would say that.
So yeah, Brachius isn't like leaning over, so he is just hugging Brachius around the waist.
Yeah,
as
he doesn't
Brachius stands there impassively, not looking at him.
Yeah, he pulls away. You can see he's like some of his skin is blistered a little bit. I want to gift you with this. I don't know if you have it. It's Troy Aikman's jersey. It's my favorite. I got it. You can have it. It's my prized possession.
I will like reach out a hand to take the jersey from him, but still not looking at him, just and I will like fling it over my shoulder. Like not throwing it away, just like laying it over draping it over my shoulder.
You're the strong, silent type. I finally got my one wish. My other wish, of course, is for Twinkie to take me to a multiverse where I go to a NASCAR race and Jeff Gordon crashes and dies. But he hadn't done that yet. So
I hope in the recap you actually dance during this whole phase, like in your suit. That'd be
oh yeah,
yeah. Do it.
Gonna do a live action version of the fight.
Don't do it now.
Don't tempt me.
He has to use all of his movement to dance.
Don't tempt me.
He has to use all of his movement to dance.
Don't tempt me.
He has to use all of his movement to dance.
Don't tempt me.
Summon activated. Then all, baby. Break the knuckle, baby. Coming at you, baby. Coming at you, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Coming at you, baby. Coming at you, baby.
Hey, somebody call in the dumpster fire.